Okay, this is a quick demo of my camp sink. Two main components are the two buckets. You will need to buy 3 buckets to make the sink the way I have, and you will need to buy 2 standard lids and 1 gamma lid. The gamma lids I found out are really good at keeping water out when there's air in the bucket, not so good at keeping water in the bucket. When this is full of water, the shape of the bucket changes and water will splash out of the sides. It's not bad enough that I really worry about it. I still keep it in the back of the Suburban, and it just gets a little bit wet, but not enough that you need to be concerned about it. I'd do it again. So on the outside of the bucket, we've got a valve, just a ball valve, a little bit of plumbing. Inside the bucket, just some more plumbing. And then after the fact, because you always find these things after you've done, with your project, I found a quick disconnect that will replace this ball valve, so you can just disconnect it and it'll shut off and not leak. I did the valve here so that I wouldn't have a hose. A lot of people will make these and put a hose coming out of the bottom of the bucket, but then if you have to go for a walk to get clean water, then you've got to carry along this whole hose, and you got to make sure that all the water doesn't drain out the hose. You also have the problem of putting it in, transporting it. This, I got the valve closed, have water in the bucket, I throw it in the back of the Suburban, go camping. I mean, even being on really rough roads, it's fine. And then when we get there, just have to set it up. So here's our waste bucket. Our waste bucket just has a lid on it, drill a bunch of holes in it. I cut 4 of the tabs off. You could probably even cut more than that off and just leave maybe 2 of them. Inside, I've got, this was a lid of another bucket, or another bucket lid. What I ended up doing was putting it on a glass bowl and then putting it in the oven and melting it down. The idea was to make kind of an indented sink. It didn't work out the way I had planned on using it, so I ended up just cutting it and then riveting this to the inside of the first lid. The idea here is when you carry this and you have to walk, say you have to walk away from camp with this, and this is full of water, well, that water is going to splash around and it's going to make water's going to shoot out of each one of these holes like a squirt gun. So I put this on the inside, the idea being that hopefully it'll catch most of that and divert it back down into the bucket rather than squirting out and getting you. It seems to work pretty good. I wouldn't change it. I don't know if I'd put it on again, but there it is. Anyway, inside the bucket we have our pump. So it's just a piece of copper tubing bent to be a faucet, attached to a clamp, attached to some rubber or some vinyl hose into a, I think this is like a $5 Harbor Freight pump. I wouldn't bet on how long that's going to last, but hey, it's $5. I can buy a bunch of those. And then inside here, this is where the third bucket comes in. So, it's too bad to get out, but it works. So this is the third bucket. I've got our soap. What I did is just cut the bucket down. Just cut it so that I have the bottom half, and then I took the top half and made a rim for this so that it's a little more sturdy. And then down on below that, we have our pump holder. So very simple, just one hinge, a couple dowels that hold everything in place, tennis ball for extra squishiness, and away it goes. You can tell we had it out camping. So to assemble all this, put the lid on. Sink on top of that, and all this goes on top of your clean water bucket. Take your clamp it on the back just like that, and then you take your hose and hook it up to the barb at the bottom, and I'll put the link to the quick disconnects I found. When this breaks, I'm going to redo it with a quick disconnect because it would be a lot better. And then take your soap, just put it down in the sink. We're going to take our little pump here, shove it between the dowels. And if it's doesn't have to be exact, it just has to be close. Then we'll turn the water on, just like that. Start pumping. Takes a second to get the water up there because it's not full. And you can wash your hands-free. Well, this will last a good while. I think we had 8 or 9 people out camping for 2 days and went through just over 5 gallons. The great part about it is it's hands-free, so you don't have to use your hands to turn the water on. You can wash both hands at the same time, keep your soap right down in there. Wash that off, it's got specific water on it. It's great for the kids to brush their teeth with, because then they're not wasting water. And the whole thing's just set up just like that. And then to break it down, just the opposite, you take everything off, go empty your waste bucket somewhere, put everything inside the waste bucket, and then when you get home, let it dry out so it doesn't get all nasty in there, and that's it. So, enjoy.